Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm excited today. We have a great show planned for you. As we talk about this, it's called this year a season of being grateful. That's what it's all about. And I tell you what, you have got to be grateful for everything that God has blessed you with because what? You deserve it. And He wouldn't give it to you unless you didn't deserve it. But He's so grateful. He's so great to us. He's so awesome. And so I just want to encourage you, somebody today that just decided to come on the show, and I want you to know that it's about being grateful because I'm so grateful. So listen, I've got this person. I tell you what, I was talking with him earlier. I'm excited about it. He's our guest for this week. It is AC Ingram, actor, model, writer, you name it, he does it. So I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's coming up next.
The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. I told you we've got a great show planned for you. Well, this guest, as I told you, he's an actor, a model, a writer from Miami, a native of Miami, Florida, one of my favorite cities. He has appeared in For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. His talents have grown, and when he returned to Jacksonville, he was popular in what? The Color Purple. Pa. He played Pa. The second time, he played Harpo. And then he stretched his acting skills and went on to August Wilson's Radio Golf. And when the pandemic hit, took a hiatus. But he appeared in several shows there. Once on the Island, the SpongeBob musical, love SpongeBob, Sweeney Todd, Dreamgirls, yes. And he has his master's, guess what? In clinical mental health counseling. He also has his degree in voice from Florida Memorial University. We have to mention that. And he's relocated to Atlanta, living his dream in television and film. Currently, he's touring with Trey Floyd Productions in the hit stage play, Black Couples Therapy. So without further ado, come on out, AC.
Thank you for having me, Tammy. Thank you for having me.
Listen, it is great to have you. Willie, we're going to change that to AC Ingram. And while we're doing that, we're going to talk. So, AC, I want to thank you again for being on the show. It is always a pleasure for me to talk with people who are in the entertainment field because this field is such a different genre when you talk about how you navigate through this field. The first thing I'm going to ask you, though, is AC. If someone walked up to you and just said, "Hey, I know you. Who are you?" What would you say, AC?
I would say I'm AC Ingram, a person who keeps it cool as best as I can with anything that I do. I'm a creative according to my mother, I'm a creative by birth because she says I've been acting a fool all my life. But I'm very passionate about the arts and creative abilities. And my goal as a person who delves and deals with other people and their issues, as well as a creative, I'm here to help people realize their worth and their potential.
Wow, that is fantastic. I want you to talk to me about going into the field of clinical mental health counseling, and then also being this actor. Talk about being in the field that you're in the entertainment field, and how you could make that switch.
Yeah. So I've been in entertainment now, in acting for the past 16 years. About 4 years ago, I got my degree in clinical mental health counseling right at the height of the pandemic. And during this time, I was what they called an essential worker. Little did I know that when I started my degree program, I would be one of the most needed people in the field. And it caused me to just realize that there's more to persons than just what their appearance is. And what I've taken from that is, having dealt with some things while going through my mental health courses, I realized that there are some issues with inside of me. That I know a lot of people say, in order to help somebody, you have to have gone through what they've been through. And believe it or not, I've experienced things. I've experienced the depression. I've experienced the lack of self-worth. I've been to the bottom on several occasions. And one of my outlets, though, through all of that has been acting and the theater. Being on stage gives me the opportunity to literally step outside of my reality and see someone else's reality at a perspective, and use what I've dealt with personally and put it into the gift that I exemplify on stage. And it literally is therapy at that point.
Wow. And that's your therapy. So, when you talk about that, and it was so interesting, you put that on me when you said, oh, my second degree is mental health. I was like, what? That it resonates so with a lot of people, because people don't have that outlet.
Right.
And you have an outlet. And so my question is about being able to prepare for those characters, prepare for those roles. How do you do that?
I really don't have an answer to that question. And a lot of the times what I do is I sit back and I read the entire script. I'll read the character specifically, and I'll analyze what's actually happening. We call these the practical aesthetics. What's the want? What does this character want? Then there is the first is the literal, which is what's actually going on in this scene. Then it's the want. What does my character want? Then it's the essential action, which is what is it that my character is trying to get from the person that they're interacting with. And then there is the as if, in other words, how can I relate what they're going through to my actual life? And how would I handle this situation? So for me, it's all about figuring out this character's psychological makeup, even if I have to give them a backstory, but how can I relate to it? And then move forward and then bring this character to life as if I am that person.
So tell me this, did you go to school for acting? Did you go to school? Oh, that's someone calling us there watching the show. Did you go to school for acting?
I actually did not go to school for acting. I did take several acting classes on the way. As I told you earlier, I did get my first degree, a Bachelor of Arts in music, with a concentration in classical theater voice. I got that at Florida Memorial. And in the process, I took the acting classes because they didn't offer it as a major. But I was one of the one student who was there till the end. Like when I graduated from school, I literally was the only person in my one acting class.
Wow.
And, God rest her soul, Dr. Warren, who I later found out we were actually related by distant relatives. She pushed me in every aspect of acting when it came time to just not accepting the mediocrity that, just get on stage, read lines. No, become the character. Be on stage, be present in the moment. And I'm currently taking acting classes with an acting coach, Dwayne Boyd, here in Atlanta, Georgia. He's known for a lot of things. He's been in a few of the Hunger Games. He's mentored Janelle Monáe. So I've got some people holding me holding me down and keeping me afloat up here.
Wow. And so when we talk about your acting, when we talk about portraying the characters, and we talk about your second degree of being that clinical mental health therapist, what are some of the lessons that you've learned through the years as you've been doing this?
One of the main things that I take from any situation, and I've lived by several creeds. The main one is walk by faith. Walk by faith. If you believe it, let that be it. Don't doubt about it. Another thing that I've taken is that everything does come to an end. So I harness it this, and this too shall pass. It ain't that bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
don't allow things in my present environment to get me so angry that I forget to focus on what my goal is. That's the target of any character that you see in any film, any TV, is they have a goal. They have somewhere they want to go. But being angry doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't get them there any faster. So just relax and chill.
Hey, that's what you said in the beginning. Somebody said, who is AC? I'm cool. Right. I'm cool. You know, when we talk about, because now you've got me thinking, and I want to go to the clip that we have, AC, because you're in Black Couples Therapy. You've been in several great plays. I mean, the list is I mean, if I go to your IMDb, I can see that list is just so long. Yes. But I want to go to this clip, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
I have to admit, this is really good for a young couple. All right, so okay, this should be an easy one. Children. Do you want children?
Yes. We haven't discussed it. Just assume. Hey, brother, never, ever assume. Lachey, sweetheart, why don't you want kids?
Oh, I just don't.
Oh, you mean not right now? Okay, I understand. We gotta get our house together. We gotta get our finances together. We gotta get everything.
No, Devin, I don't want kids. Ever.
Damn. So, just like that's not even up for discussion. Lachey, we've talked about it time and time again. You know I want to say we've had this discussion.
Yes, and I always change the subject. I mean, you have a nephew. You can come over on the weekends and then we can just go. And then when we want to, we just sit home. We'll be like this rich aunt uncle. So she has that. It's a good idea.
That sounds fine and all, but what about legacy?
Wow. Oh, I could have kept watching. I was waiting. Talk about that character.
The character's name is Devin. He and his fiance Lachey, they're soon to be in newlyweds. They're engaged. We're in this couples therapy. Everybody else on set that you see, they're married couples or have been together forever, and they're trying to fix their relationship. We're just trying to get to understand what it takes to be in a full-fledged married relationship. And we don't have any issues that we know of until that very moment.
Wow.
Life has been a bowl of cherries up until that point. And then to take a phrase, all hell breaks loose in that very moment. When we find out that Devin wants kids and his fiance Lachey does not want kids. This in essence creates the tension and the conflict that they never knew was there. And a lot of times people are living these lives and don't understand how that just because things are so fine and dandy doesn't mean everything's there. Sometimes you have to dig deeper than the surface. We're living these surface, and it reminds me of what we see on social media. We see these people and they're portraying these positive, happy-go-lucky, I've got this, I've got that going, but we don't know what it took them to get there, or even if that's the real reality of things.
Oh, right.
I'm reminded of a song by Mary Mary, where she says one of her lines is, we see her, but we don't know what it took
That's
her
it.
to get there. She's down on her knees every night. We
That's
see
it.
the smile on her face. So in this scene, you see the smile on their faces. They're happy the entire show until that moment.
Wow.
And it's a little heartbreaking once you get into the story of what actually happened. You'll see that it's a lot deeper than her just not wanting kids. It's
right. And it's
something
always exactly. And without you giving the story away, that's the case. The people in the audience, their reaction, oh, and you saw me waving my hand like, oh, what? I'm ready. And then all of a sudden it cuts off. I'm like, wait. I gotta know what else happened.
right.
So we want to urge people to see this show, which is the Black Couples, right? Black Couples Therapy.
Black Couples Therapy.
That's in Atlanta, September the 28th, coming to Atlanta, Saturday, September 28th, which is the last show because you've been on tour. Now, when we come back, we're going to take a commercial break, but I want to talk with you what it's like to be on tour. What is it like being this actor who's on tour and some of the things that you have to deal with? Because we have people who want to act all the time. People want to go into the entertainment industry, but they don't know what it takes to do that. So when we come back, we're going to talk about that. Okay, AC? All right. Thanks so much. We'll be right back.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
Stay tuned. You are now watching The Tammy Show. This is Roger Gas. Welcome.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, I don't know if you are just joining the show or if you've been with us, but I'm with AC Ingram, actor, model, writer. And I tell you what, if you didn't hear that introduction in the beginning, you missed something because he's been in every play, everything that you can think of. Dream Girls, For Colored Girls. I'm telling you, The Color Purple, SpongeBob, and the list goes on and on. So I just want you to know who we are talking to today. And so AC, thank you again for being on the show. This is our second half. And, it comes to me, we were talking about you going on tour. We showed the clip of Black Couples Therapy. Black Couples Therapy, being on tour with Trey Floyd Productions. What's that like as an actor?
It is a lot. For the most part, this is my very first tour, so it's a dream come true. And the fact that it's not a grand Broadway tour, it's a weekend tour, so it allows me to come back to my reality, still live my day-to-day life, but get the experience of being on the road. Sometimes our touring is gone for 2 days. Sometimes it's go do a show and turn right back around after the show and make it back home before the sun comes up. The hardest part about this is some things that are out of your control. Airport traffic. We actually were in Houston the weekend that the hurricane hit Houston.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was amazing that people did show up to the show. We had 2 shows, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, the day the hurricane was actually hitting. People showed up to the show anyway. And we were doing our best to get out of there before it came. But unfortunately, all of our flights got canceled while we were on stage. You are either going to be stuck in Houston or we're going to figure this out some kind of way. Unfortunately, we checked out of the hotel, so we had nowhere to stay. So thankfully, the place where we rented the vehicles that we were driving, they knew the situation. They allowed us to keep the vehicles, and we drove almost 14 hours from Houston to Atlanta to avoid this storm that ultimately destroyed.
Oh my goodness!
Saw a few tornadoes on the way.
Right.
It's like, wow. So
wow.
So the perks of it is you get to go. It's like a mini vacation, but once you touch down, it's all work.
All in, yep. And that's what people don't understand. You got to put in the work, and when we're talking about work, we talked about those challenges, but what are some of the obstacles that you faced as you were starting your acting career?
The hardest part for me starting my acting career is wanting to do it so bad, but not knowing how to get there, and then getting tidbits and a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there, but still having to live an adult life and maintain yourself. I have my own apartment. I have my car. I have bills. I have to be an adult. But at the same time, I want to be on stage. But you're not always going to get that Michael B. Jordan, Angela Bassett money right out the gate. Sometimes you got to do a few things for free and still be able to maintain yourself. Moving to Atlanta was a stepping stone for me to move from theater into TV and film. The thing that I'm finding is a lot of the work that came to me when I first got here was a lot of background work. Fine and dandy. I don't mind doing a little background work, expand a little bit of here. The hardest part was, how do you take off from work? Because they want you on set 5, 6 in the morning. You're supposed to be on the clock at 8:30 in the morning. So, thankfully, some companies have that PTO, personal time off, or vacation time. Take that. But then you have to weigh in. Is it worth missing an entire day of work for this role? Will it benefit me in the long run? Or will it just be something to say I've done? The hardest part is finding the balance of knowing what to accept, moving into things like that, what to go for, and 2, where to find things that are not just going to be another notch that later nobody will remember. Because you have to be diligent in doing the footwork, but you also have to be selective, because you don't just want to put your name on anything. And I found last year, I'm not going to name the show, but I was rehearsing for a show the entire summer. I'm going to throw this. It just so happened that the day before the show opened, I tested positive for COVID. Wow. I was a lead character with no understudy. But it just so happened that the show flopped. It was not successful. There was a lot of dissension between the director and the rest of the cast. And it just was not a good fit for me to have my name on that show.
Right.
I wish them the best in their future, whatever they do. But in so many ways, I want to say God worked it out where I didn't end up in that mess.
God blocked it. He blocked it.
I blocked it, right.
He blocked it. That's what he did. He blocked it.
I didn't even know I had COVID until I was already done with COVID.
Wow. He blocked it. He blocked it. And that's one of the things that I think is so amazing about God and about living your purpose and doing what you do. If it's meant for you, you're going to have it regardless.
Absolutely.
If it's not meant, he's going to block that, because he doesn't want his children to see or be in any situation that's not going to be fulfilling and that's not going to glorify him. And so when you said that, I'm sorry you got COVID, but again, it worked out.
It worked the way it was supposed to be, because what I didn't do was I didn't miss any days from work. They let me work from home, so I didn't miss any money.
All right. All right.
I was good, and I basically just had a vacation. What would have been a long weekend turned into peace. And then when I found out what happened to the show, I was like, thank you, Lord.
Well, when I tell you, this has been a blessing to be able to talk with you, because a lot of times people in our industry, we don't get to talk to each other. We don't get to really dissect how we feel, what's going on, where we're going, and for people to be able to hear this type of conversation. So again, I want to thank you for being so transparent. Now, I do want to ask you this. What has been your biggest accomplishment thus far?
Honestly, I think my biggest accomplishment is to still keep going with a smile. Even through the rejection, the letdowns, and even the discord amongst different casts and whatnot, feeling like the black sheep in anything. My biggest achievement in my life that I think is still keep going. That was when I went back to school. I was not your traditional student. I got my degree late. My first degree I didn't get until I was well into my 20s. I got my second degree only 4 years ago. But what I never did was I didn't quit. I didn't give up. And I always, as they said in the Bible, I look to the hills from which cometh my help.
Come on.
Help comes from the Lord. And that has been basically the mantra of my life. As I always press forward, I always go forward, and I always try to be that inspiration. And when I get on stage, I let that shine through the characters that I'm playing, even if they're not the nicest characters on stage. When it's all said and done, you've gotten a message. You've gotten a message through the gift that was given to me to share with you. So as far as the tangible things, finally getting into TV and film, I've got a couple of movies out. I'm actually getting ready to go into filming October 5th for a new movie. It's called Living in the Cemetery. Long story short, it's gonna cross some racial barriers. In addition to that, I've got on Tubi, I've got a movie called The Bitter Sugars. It's on Tubi and Prime TV, The Bitter Sugars. And you can find me cameoing in a Christmas Cinderella story called He Who Findeth, also on Tubi.
Yes, He Who Findeth. I saw it. I didn't see the movie yet, but I saw the promos for the movie. Okay, all right. So I will see you on the big screen.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the philosophy that you live by now.
A philosophy that I live by, and it's one that I've always lived by, is walk by faith. Walk by faith. And for a lot of people, that may not understand what that means. One of the things, and I laugh when I think about it, my mom said to me growing up, and even into my older age, I always live with my head in the clouds. I live with my head in the clouds. And it's not for people who don't understand what's going on up here. For me, that's not the clouds. That's just ground level for me. But these are the things that I see. And I see me being successful. I see me doing these things, but just to see it is not enough. Like the word says, you've got to put in the work. Faith by faith without works
Without
is dead.
works is dead. That's
And
right.
and the young folk today say manifested. No, put in the work. Put in the work, because God honors faith. God honors faith. But if you only believe it and not working towards it, then what good is it? So I walk by faith. Anything that I see and I say I want to do, I put in the work for it, and I stand on that, on the word.
Wow. I'll tell you what, and as I'm talking to you, we are mirroring each other. But what I want to do is to make sure, number one, that I'm going to have you come back after you do all of your filming in October, so that we can talk about your project, Living in the Cemetery, and what you're doing. That's in October, correct? When you start filming. And so I want to be able to come back and talk with you about that. But the reason I like to talk with people about their stories is because I like to get what the takeaway is. What is the takeaway that you want our viewers to know?
One of the things I would say is life gets hard, but understand that as long as you don't give up, the roads are already paved for you to walk on smooth ground. Oftentimes we compare ourselves to what we see others live like the Joneses. We want to be glamorous on social media, but it's not about that. What is your destiny? What is your purpose? What is your calling on this earth? Because we're all put here for a purpose. Find out what that purpose is and start living in that purpose, towards that purpose, and you'll find out life gets easier, because like the word says, every step of the righteous man is what? Ordered
by the Lord. That's right.
And if you start walking in that purpose, you'll find out that your steps are already made. Doors will open for you that no man can shut.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about. We've got some pictures, and I want to show those pictures quickly. So there, look at you. There's Devin in Black Couples Therapy. Yes. And Lachey, right? Yes. Wow. Look at that. Now, do you do any singing in this?
There is some singing going on. I actually have a small solo during the show. So yeah, there's some singing going on. And singing being my first passion, my first love, I am just glad to sing whenever I can, when I'm in a good space for it.
That's right. And you play all these wonderful instruments. We didn't talk about that, but you play all of these wonderful instruments, and I'm excited to know that you play these wind instruments.
Yes, I play 6 instruments. My primary instrument is saxophone, but I self-taught on flute, clarinet. Tuba is the first instrument that I've ever started with. Wow. I learned my undergrad degree. I learned to play the bassoon, and I use that as another tool as well. So yeah, I'm an orchestral individual. I've been reading music since I was 4.
Me too, since I was 3. That's right. So listen, I hear you've got a special day coming up. Now, I am not what we say a singer, but I am going to do this. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Okay, that's it. That's as much as I can do. Happy birthday to you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
What's next for you?
What's next for me is I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep striving. My goal is to be so booked and so busy in 2025 that I can do, like they say, quit my day job.
Hey, come on.
And just keep striving and just keep going. I know there are people who are rooting for me, and even though it's not about them, I don't want to let them down.
Yeah. Wow. AC, I just want to tell you that I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to be on the show with me today and for sharing your insight, for sharing who you are, and the light that's in you. Being so transparent, you don't get that in this industry. And I want to thank you for that. It's been a pleasure. And I pray that God will continue to bless you bountifully. That, it's like they say, all those blessings, the doors just open, the windows, doors, floors, everything, the whole house will just open up and pour you out a blessing.
Thank you again.
You don't even have any room to hold. And so I thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
and live your dream, my brother. Live your dream.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, AC. Have a blessed evening.
You do the same.
All right. Bye-bye. Folks, listen, I tell you what, this has been an exciting time, an exciting interview with AC Ingram. I want to thank him again for being on this show. You've got to go see Black Couples Therapy. It's the last show. It's going to be in Atlanta, September the 28th. It's going to be in Forest Park at Trey's Place. That's on Saturday at 4913 West Street in Forest Park, Georgia. And you can go see the show then. You can also, I'm pretty sure you can go online. It's Black Couples Therapy. Look it up and it'll be there for you to go if you're in Atlanta. All right. And they're on tour. So I want to say blessings to your cast as well. Blessings to Trey Floyd and to everybody, AC. You all be safe on that road and have a good time while you're doing Black Couples Therapy. Thank you again, AC. I want to thank, as always, you viewers for always tuning into the show. I mean, it's always a pleasure having you join us. And I get those comments. Love it. Keep sending those comments and keep letting us know about what you'd like to see on this show. We are so grateful for you. I want to thank my producers, Alicia, my associate producer, Willie. Thank you, Willie. And thank you, Willie, for getting in touch with AC. That's what being associate producer and a producer is all about. Listen, they go out, get the folks. It's TreyFloyd.com, and you can go there for your tickets. And so again, remember, please subscribe to the Tammy TV Show on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And it's the Tammy TV Show. Hit that red subscribe button. Let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. Be grateful. Thank you again for joining us. And until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.